In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use Stable Video Diffusion in ComfyUI, show you a custom workflow I've created based on the examples provided by ComfyUI in the new update, and show you how to upscale your video, and also a nice program for frame interpolation as well. We're just going to briefly go over how to install ComfyUI for anyone who isn't there yet. First thing you want to do is go over to the ComfyUI GitHub page. I'll provide links to this and all the other pages I take you to in the description. So just scroll on down, find installing ComfyUI. I quit that, and then this will take you to just this installation section of the README. Just find what works best for you. If you're on Windows, it's going to likely be to just click the direct link to download, but there's a lot of other options as well. You can just find what works best for you. The next thing we're going to want to do in order to be able to make videos is go to the Stability AI Hugging Face repo for their new image-to-vid models. We're going to be doing the image-to-vid XT models. The difference between the base and the XT is that the base is 14 frames. It's trained to be 14 frames long, and the XT models are trained to be 25 frames long, so we want longer videos. We're going to go with these. There's going to be two models you want to download. That's the SVD-XD and the SVD-XD image decoder. We'll go over what those do in a little bit and show you why you want both. The next thing you're going to need is just a model for generating images. This video is showing you how to do text to image to vid. At the end, we'll also just go over an image to video as well, but you're going to want a model to start. So I'm using the Juggernaut XL model. I really like this one. It's pretty versatile and works well for a lot of different applications. So I'll provide that link below as well. And next thing we're going to do is just take a look at the examples provided by ComfyUI and kind of go over how they work. So you can find the examples yourself just by going back to the ComfyUI GitHub repo, clicking on ComfyUI examples, going to the video models. You know, these two different ones. This top one is for the 14 frame model. So if you download that as well, you can do this one. And this is for this is an image to vid. This bottom one is for the 25 frame model, and it's text to image to vid. So you can right click download that if you want to follow along, but I'll show you basically what it looks like. So this is the setup. So what happens first is you create your image, then next we go through and we generate the video. So there's some new nodes that come in the latest version of ComfyUI. This image-only checkpoint loader, the linear guidance, which just increases the guidance slowly over the process of generating the images. This new conditioner, which takes in an image and the clip, the vision clip from the model on the VIE, and then it produces both latents and the positive and negative conditioning for your sampler. Run the sampler, that generates your frames, and then run it through a decoder. And they have added this new node as well that is just saves it to an animated whippy. So there you go. That's just sort of how to use the basic example that ComfyUI provides. So I'll show you now my custom workflow and some differences, and kind of go over why I've made those changes. So, okay, so here's the custom workflow I've created. Text image is very much the same, using a different model as I mentioned before, and using some different settings on the sampler here, but that's all to taste, if you will. So we'll go over here to the image to vid section, and I'll show you what's different. First things first is I just created a primitive node to set the frames per second, so that I can just have consistency on that in different places without having to set it multiple times. The second thing, and this has made a big difference as far as I can tell, is I've added a second checkpoint loader for the image decoder model that we downloaded earlier, and I'm using that in this VAE decode node. And the reason I've done that is because in Stability AI's release, they mention how this model helps with temporal consistency in the animation. And I have noticed that it does indeed make lighting and other aspects of the image more consistent across frames when I use this rather than just using the VIE from the base image to vid model. And so the next thing you'll notice is that I'm using a different node to combine the images rather than the save animation to Web M or Web P node that was added in the most recent ComfyUI release. I'm using this VHS node. You'll find the video helper suite here. I'll again provide this link in the description below. And you'll just want to clone this into your extra nodes folder. That's not something I'm covering in this tutorial, but I'll provide a link. The next thing I've added here is just an upscaler. And so the upscale image using a model node is something that comes with ComfyUI, but you are going to want to download your own model to use. You can head to this website, open ModelDB Alpha, to find a bunch of good upscalers. This one, in my opinion, does the best, but it does take significantly longer. I would say 3 to 4 times longer than some of these other models for upscaling. So surely your preference, dig through the site, find one that works well for you, your use case, whether you're trying to generate anime or other things, just kind of find what works best for you. So yeah, let's go ahead and just follow a generation from the start to the end, and we'll see how things go. And I'll go through here and just kind of explain some of the other choices I've made on parameters that I haven't already explained. So starting from the beginning, we'll quick Q prompt. Oh, and just a little tip here. If you ever start a generation and you want to stop it, this will be closed to start. So you just click View Queue, and then you'll see running. You can click Cancel, and that'll stop the process. So we're generating an image, and there we go. Little monkey using the laptop, wearing some glasses. Look at him. He's great. Awesome. Okay, so now it's feeding over here. I've chosen to do 6 frames per second because we're going to be using frame interpolation. You can do down to 4, I mean maybe even lower, but I've found 6 kind of gives you the best balance. It's going through the sampler now. All right, that's going to load that decoder model. Decoding. It's going to generate our images. And now this node is going to turn them into animation. Go ahead and show that. So there's our basic animation right there. Little monkey just using my laptop. I generated this one as a GIF, but you can choose different formats, which is a reason why I like using this node over the other one. In fact, later I will use, in this one, I'm generating an MP4 video. And so yeah, now it's upscaling. So basically just took those images, fed them into this upscale node, and I'm using that LSD IR model that I think does the best. Just makes them look really crispy. All right, that's done. Let's check it out. So now we're going to go ahead and save. Great. And we're going to move on to frame interpolation. But before we do that, I am just going to show you briefly how you can do something very, very similar for image to vid without starting with text image. So let me just load up that workflow real quick. Okay. See, it's very, very similar, with the exception of instead of starting from text to image over here, we are just starting with a load image node, and then you choose whatever image you want. I am using this node that comes from the ControlNet, the ComfyUI ControlNet aux repo. This is an awesome repo if you want to be able to use pre-processing, so you can extract depth maps and other things from your images to use in ControlNet, but it's not entirely necessary for this video or this workflow. However, it does come with this node that allows you to extract the width and height from an image, which is handy here, as you can then just upload any image and feed it out. And remember that 1024 by 576 is the preferred resolution. So the further you get away from that, you will have worse results. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, you can upload run through the workflow. Everything else is going to be the same in this, and the link to this and the other workflow will be in the description below, so you can download and start from there, or you can just follow along and recreate it yourself if you'd like. Now let's go ahead and move on to frame interpolation. The first thing we're going to want to do is we want to download flow frames. This is a great little piece of software. You can either head to this repo and you can build it out yourself, or you can head over to the itch.io page for it and you can download it and you can create whatever you think is fair. So we're going to go ahead and head into flow frames. Once we have that downloaded and installed, there's a couple different steps you can take throughout the installation process, but the installer does a good job of guiding you through that. So choose as you wish, but for the most part, the default options are going to be what you want. So now we're going to go ahead and head into flow frames and show you how to go from it. Okay, here we are. This is flow frames. We are in the Interpolation tab. I have a 3090 video card, so I'm using this, but there's different settings. So we're just going to go ahead and select the video. You can also do a collection of images if you want, but we exported an MP4 video. This also can do GIFs and all sorts of other file formats too. So when you go ahead and select it, I'm selecting the video we just exported there, and it's gonna import it. Okay, it's big because that's a 4 times upscaler. It's more than we need, but does the trick. So its maximum is 4K, so it'll automatically scale down to 4K. So we're doing we did 6 frames per second in our generation. It detected that automatically. We're going to go 24 frames per second, and that's pretty good smoothness. I mean, you can go higher if you want. This goes up to 10, but the further you go, the more kind of images it has to make up in between. So I recommend either doing 4 frames per second and multiplying it by 6, or doing 6 frames per second and multiplying it by 4. So then we're going to go ahead and I could interpolate. We've set our output what we want, but that can be a GIF or other things as well. And we're going to run that. Okay, and it's done. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the videos we've produced and show the differences between the base video and then the upscaled version and then the interpolated one. So here's just the base video. And now here is the version that we've upscaled. And now here is that upscale video interpolated. And there you go. That is how to do Stable Video Diffusion in ComfyUI with upscaling and frame interpolation. I'll provide all links in the description below, and I hope you enjoy.